Thank you all so much, and welcome to the fall concert featuring the Monmouth College Wind Ensemble. That first piece, play by Carl Holmquist, it's the end of a symphony he wrote that goes on all sorts of this journey, but you've got a very nice program note that talks about this idea of play, of where we are at our most pure and uninhibited, but also in a way our most focused. And so I hope you could hear some of the joyful buoyancy in a lot of that last number. It features a lot of all sorts of New Orleans kind of street jazz, Nolans vibes. And hey, wouldn't you know, the chorale is doing a spring tour down to Nolans this year, so it's sort of thematic. Yeah, it's this joyful presence coupled with this hymn that's snuck in there. So thank you all so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed that. This next piece it's loud and bombastic, and you're going to hear some loud and bombastic stuff tonight. I can't wait to share this music with you. We've got such wonderful students and a few community members, faculty here with us tonight, so please, if you can give them another round of applause. And then we've got just a quick word from our exec board president. So, Lorenzo, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorenzo Ramirez, and I'm this year's Wind Ensemble president. I'm here happy to announce our new fundraiser called Change for Change. Now, my body's twisted up on my words. This fundraiser helps create an opportunity for not only just the Wind Ensemble and its members, but for you guys to help make a difference, even with something just as simple as fair change. Now, I know you're probably, so our goal for this fundraiser is $200, and it would be greatly grateful if you guys can check it out. Now, I know you're probably asking the question, what changes if I give you guys my change? So, first of all, many of the participating Wind Exec members and myself will not only be dyeing our hair, but this fundraiser also helps support the Wind Ensemble with many different events that we'll be hosting, and eventually planning on different events that we'll be giving back to the community as well. Now, if you guys are asking the questions, what color will we be dyeing our hair? I will be doing purple, and the other participating exec members will be doing a Christmas-themed hair dye for our Christmas at Monmouth concert. Now, if you have any questions on where to give the money to, we do have 2 fundraising boxes out in the lobby. That would be greatly appreciated. And then we do have a poster with our QR code for our Venmo as well. And then, if you guys can look for over here, our basis, also our financial chair for our exec board, Kaylee Cronin, and many of our other exec members as well. Can my exec board please stand up or raise your guys' hands? So yeah, you guys can look out for those as well. That would be greatly appreciated. But this fundraiser does help create an opportunity for not only us, but for you guys as well. And we really want to give back to you guys as well. Now, to be able, let's just start digging through our couch cushions, our cards, cup holders, and everything like that, and collect some coins, some dollars, and even a little bit of spare change to help make a difference, to help make an impact, to be able to help the ensemble, to be able to give back to the community, and remember what we do these things for. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the concert.
So please, we appreciate so much anything that you're able to give helps with certain expensive music acquisitions, all of this fine equipment you see in front of us, and occasionally we go to Greece with the chorale. Any little bit you can give is very much appreciated. This next piece, as I said, is incredibly loud and bombastic. It's by Kevin Day, who just grew into the band world just a few years ago and is now very, very well established. I don't know what to say except it's raucous and capriccio, and it wouldn't be a Kevin Day piece without some fiery saxophone. So I hope you enjoy Kevin Day's Capriccio. real treat with this next set. So this next set is 3 movements, so please hold applause until the end when we end the piece called Musica Tonic at Arkham. These are by a local composer from Illinois State University, Roy Magnuson, who happens to be in the house tonight. So we're so fortunate to have a local composer that is so giving of his time and energy and is able to attend this wild experience that you're about to hear. So you'll have to forgive, there's a little bit of setup with all of these movements. We'll have to do some sound checks here and there. But you've got a very brief program note because Monmouth College, we are so fortunate, so blessed to have many, many wonderful students who just know a lot about so many different things, are very passionate and curious. And so I've asked a student to come up and tell you about some of these H.P. Lovecraft stories. So I'd like to invite to the stage Abby Zayas to say a few words about H.P. Lovecraft and some of these sound experiences you're about to hear. So please welcome Abby Zayas.
Yes, I'm Abby Zayas. Thank you for the warm welcome and the introduction. If I were in charge of my own introduction, Docs is a bit kinder. I was just going to say I really like horror and I like to make that everybody else's problem. But yes, I was very delighted. I just sort of was rambling to Doc about how excited I was that they were doing these pieces. He asked me to talk here. So just as a brief bit of sort of historical background on H.P. Lovecraft as a writer in general, Lovecraft was predominantly working in the 1910s and 20s, would never really achieve any sort of fame in his own life, in his own time, but is much more sort of revered now, for better and for worse sometimes. But horror is a very expansive genre, but Lovecraft's sort of poison of choice was the eldritch or the cosmic, meaning horror that kind of transcends the laws of like human understanding. There's these giant creatures that are like so strange that they don't even register as things that can even be alive, as things that can even move or have like sentience. He was a deeply troubled individual and often very like every phobia under the sun, and was very terrified of other people as well. But one of those prominent fears was the ocean, and that will show up a lot, and it will show up in some of these movements as well. But yeah, so these terrible giant monsters, which leads me into the Dunwich horror, or the Dunwich horror. I've heard it pronounced both from reliable sources, so I'll probably just use them interchangeably. But this is a story set in a fictional town in Massachusetts. Lovecraft was from New England, Providence, Rhode Island. Hated anywhere that wasn't Providence, Rhode Island. And set a lot of his stories in Massachusetts. I think maybe he had a soft spot for that as well. But Dunwich was a once pastoral and idyllic village that has kind of fallen into ruin and disrepair. And we follow in it the Whately family, a grandfather, Lavinia, and her hideous son, she has 2. But that's sort of the twist of the story. Apologies, I will spoil it, but it's been out for 100 years. Essentially what we learn is that Lavinia has her son Wilbur, who grows unusually fast. In fact, by the time he's about 12, he's around 8 feet tall. And he doesn't talk much, and he's very weird, and everybody hates him. So, you know, he's not having a good time, and he'll have a worse one. But there's something else going on in the Whately household. There are strange noises that are emanating from the house, and eventually from the barn. Whatever it was that was making those noises gets moved out there. And we mostly follow Wilbur. In fact, Lavinia actually passes away over the course of the story. And we follow Wilbur to a college that we'll mention later, where he's doing some research into ancient and strange magic. Then he falls down and he dies. And what they discover about him is that underneath his clothes, he is monstrous. He has these like eyes and mouths and like tentacles that are growing out of his body, really just nasty stuff. That's Lovecraft's sort of trademark. And so obviously the professors at this university are like, that's not normal. We gotta figure out what's going on. So they go back to Wilbur's home in Dunwich, Massachusetts, And they find that this thing that is in the barn has grown to such a degree that it explodes the barn, and this invisible force ravages the Massachusetts countryside until eventually these brave and tenacious professors manage to put a stop to it, revealing this invisible creature to be a monster. This, again, as I mentioned before, sort of incomprehensible as even a living thing. Just this massive eyes and mouths that sort of cries out to a being called Yog-Sothoth. I had to practice a lot to make sure I could say all of it out loud. And what we realize is that this thing called Yog-Sothoth is an ancient god. Lovecraft dealt a lot in these ancient unknowable gods. And it is actually this creature's father, and it was Wilbur's father as well. Lavinia sort of had two babies with this. This creature in the barn was Wilbur's twin. And then it dies, and the story ends. So, you know, you'll get to hear all of that here. This is the horror of Dunwich is in its just growing sense of dread, and that is something that will happen in this piece. Is it will just grow and grow and grow until finally that thing that's hiding in the barn will burst forth, and you'll get to experience that. So yeah, I'll be back for the next couple ones. Thank you. in the middle of the change. I'll just sort of give you the rundown of the next story that this one is based on. This is Innsmouth, Massachusetts. One of the more popular and well-known Lovecraft stories, once again set in a fictional Massachusetts town, this time on the coastline, and once again a place that was once probably very idyllic and pastoral and has now kind of been reduced to like a sea brine-ridden landscape. And our narrator in this one, it is first person, a lot of Lovecraft's works are, but our narrator is sort of situated very directly in the conflict this time. That doesn't happen a lot. A lot of times in Lovecraft's works, the narrator heard about the story from a friend who heard it from their uncle who read about it in a sailor's diary or something. It's always filtered through a lot of layers. But this time we have someone who is directly involved in the action where this narrator, he goes to the town of Innsmouth and discovers right away that it's very, very strange, that something is wrong. All of the locals are extremely reclusive, and those that he can see look very weird. They all have enormous eyes, huge mouths. We as the reader can probably clock them right away as being sort of fish people, but that's a pretty big leap for a normal person to make in that situation, so the narrator does not think so. But he does a bit of digging, and he learns about a man named Obed Marsh, who founded the town of Innsmouth, and in doing so had discovered this race of fish people who worshipped a god called Dagon. In Lovecraftian fiction, Dagon is this like deep sea fish god. In real life, it is an ancient Babylonian figure, just kind of repurposed. Bears no resemblance to Lovecraft's version of it. This will happen quite a bit in his fiction. But the narrator learns that Obed Marsh was pretty chill with the fish people, and he liked everything that they were preaching. And so he was pretty down to just sort of help them out and make this town in the hopes that one day they would all rise up out of the sea and take over the world. And the big twist that we learn is that our narrator finds out he is a Marsh. He is descended from this line, and he himself is going to undergo this fish person transition. And he actually thinks this is pretty cool. He is not frightened. He's initially very frightened by this idea, but gets over that fright very quickly, and it's like, oh, never mind, I would love to be a fish person, and I would love to take over the world. So he sets out to find a cousin of his he has lost touch with, so they can go back to the town of Innsmouth, and one day when everyone has undergone their transformation and are completely changed, they will all rise up out of the ocean and hopefully raise Dagon. So the stakes are a little high. We never find out what happens with that either, so you'll get to decide for yourself after listening to this one. This last one is the Miskatonic at Arkham, and I don't want to make any guesses as to the sort of composer's mindset when making this, but saving Arkham for last feels very appropriate. It is often Lovecraft's most popular setting, both for those who know him and read him, and also just Lovecraft himself. This is often where his stories come back to. Arkham is once again a fictional town in Massachusetts, so yeah, he must have had a soft spot for the state, but specifically this is about Miskatonic University. Again, a fictional university where a lot of Lovecraft stories sort of start and center from and will go back to. Miskatonic has actually showed up before. That college that Wilbur Whately went to research at, that was Miskatonic, and it was where those professors came from. It is also where I thought it would be worth noting the sort of big dog of Lovecraftian mythos, the Cthulhu stories. These are the ones that have kind of almost transcended Lovecraft himself. The image of Cthulhu has kind of become its own monster at this point, sort of self-sufficient in the way that like the Dracula image or the Frankenstein's monster. It's sort of reaching that level of, it doesn't even necessarily need the source material all the time anymore. And a lot of those stories, we will see researchers and investigators who start in Arkham, or they go to Miskatonic in order to kind of learn a bit more. So yeah, for this last piece, it'll just be, just let the wind ensemble kind of guide you through the university itself, through, you know, peruse all these strange and like dusty old books and forgotten corridors and discover all of the weird secrets that are kept there. And if you are so unlucky, or maybe if we are all so lucky, we will discover the far stranger and more terrifying things that wait there than just secrets. So I hope you enjoy.
I mean, it's
Yeah, that looks just fine. I don't know what he was looking at. But, yeah, that's the live stream.
I mean, I can.
It's perfect to me. Like you said, it was too far down. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine to be. It's fine to be.
So we've got one more piece for you, and this one, hopefully you got a program. If you didn't, run and get one, or maybe look up the piece. But this next one, it has a pretty extensive program note, and so I'm not going to go through and talk about the whole thing, but essentially, Randall Standridge has been long known in the band world as like one of the band guys. He posts online about how much his life changed when he was a band director, and then he went into composition full time, and how much of a tremendous lifestyle change that was for him. And so he is often seen posting online, just talking about how wonderful music in our schools is, and what music can do, and what it did for him, and all these great things. He's always writing. He's got about 1,000 different pieces that you know, many of these students have played in honor bands, played with their bands before getting here. And so he doesn't write as many pieces that are on sort of a grand level as you're about to hear. He's got them, but he's much more known for all this other stuff, like, I don't know, Santa the Barbarian, and like, he's got this really cool series called Darkland's March was the first piece. But this next piece is, it's very different. It's a different side for Randall Standridge, and so it's all about mental health awareness and how growing up, you know, when you're a child, you're so impressionable, and sometimes you don't really know what's happening. And so it's a very personal piece. He gives this music out for free. Normally you have to spend hundreds of dollars for a piece like this. This is a piece that is free because he believes in its purpose and mission and what it meant for him to write. And so what you're about to hear is sort of his journey of reconciliation with living with depression and having a mother that had a pretty severe mental breakdown while he was growing up. And through kind of their journey together, they all realized at the end that just because they might suffer from mental illness does not make them broken people. They are unbroken, and so too are you. And so this piece is hopefully the beginning, or at least a continuing of conversation of taking care of each other and checking in. It is an intense piece, and like I said, deeply personal. So you're going to hear a lot of stuff that seems okay, except something's not quite right, and it doesn't really feel quite right, even when you think it almost does, until quite a ways in. So I hope you enjoy Randall Standridge's Unbroken.